Hi, welcome to our channel, Mind Programming, where we bring smart insights from top books distilled for busy minds. Let's begin hiring and building the right team. Do it yourself first before you hire someone. Try to do the work yourself. When you take the time to understand a job by doing it, you learn what it actually takes to succeed. You also discover if that task is really necessary. Sometimes people think they need help, but what they really need is to cut out unnecessary work. Doing the job yourself helps you avoid hiring for the wrong reason. There was once a founder who thought she needed a social media manager. But before hiring, she decided to post a few updates herself. She spent an hour each morning writing short messages and responding to comments. She quickly realized two things. First, the work didn't take as much time as she thought. Second, her own voice felt more real to followers than what a hired expert might have written. She saved money, stayed closer to her customers, and improved her communication by doing it herself. When you understand a role from the inside, you make smarter choices about when and how to bring someone in. Hire late, many companies hire too early. They panic when things get busy or stressful. But rushing into a hire often creates more problems than it solves. A new person needs time, attention, and training. If you bring them in before your process is clear or your need is steady, you may end up wasting everyone's time. A growing business once thought they needed an assistant because the founders felt overwhelmed. But instead of hiring right away, they waited. They watched their schedules, trimmed extra work, and automated a few tasks. The stress level dropped, and when they finally did hire, they knew exactly what help they needed. The assistant was able to add value right away because the role had a clear shape. Wait until the pain is real and steady. Hire only when it's harder not to hire than it is to bring someone on board. Pass on the resumes, often focus on surface details, schools, job titles, years of experience. But none of that proves if someone can actually do the job. What really matters is their work. What have they built, fixed, or created? What problems have they solved? You learn much more from real examples than from a list of past positions. There was once a small company hiring a designer. They got dozens of impressive-looking resumes. But one candidate stood out, not because of her resume, but because she included a link to her portfolio. It wasn't flashy, but it was full of clear, useful designs. She explained how she made her choices and what problem she solved. Her work told the story better than a resume ever could. She got the job. Focus on what people can do, not just what they claim they've done. Real work speaks louder than words. Hire great writers. Writing isn't just about grammar or spelling. Good writing shows clear thinking. Someone who writes well usually thinks well, too. They can explain ideas, give feedback, and connect with others. In a remote or online team, writing becomes even more important because much of your communication happens in messages, emails, and documents. A team once hired a developer who wasn't the most experienced coder, but wrote clear, thoughtful messages. He could describe problems, explain decisions, and help others understand what he was working on. His writing made the whole team smarter. They spent less time fixing miscommunication and more time building things. His impact was far beyond his job title. Writing is a skill worth testing for, no matter the role. It helps every part of the business. Everybody works. Titles and roles often make people feel limited. In big companies, someone might say, "That's not my job," even when something important needs to be done. But in smaller, stronger teams, everyone pitches in. Nobody hides behind their title. If the trash needs to be taken out, someone takes it out. If a customer needs help, someone helps them. There's a story of a company founder who answered support emails even after the team grew to 50 people. He didn't do it every day, but he kept in touch with that part of the work. It reminded him of the customer's voice and helped him make better decisions. It also showed the team that no one was too important to do basic work. When everyone is willing to help where needed, trust grows and the company runs smoother. Tests with real work interviews are not enough. People are often nervous, or they say what they think you want to hear. The best way to know if someone is a good fit is to work with them, even briefly. Give a small project or trial task. See how they think, how they communicate, and how they respond to feedback. Real work reveals real habits. A startup once interviewed a customer support candidate who seemed perfect on paper, but they gave her a small assignment: write sample replies to common questions. Her answers were cold and robotic. She was polite, but not helpful. That short test showed she wasn't the right fit. Another candidate, with less experience, wrote warm, human replies. He got the job and became one of their most loved team members. Even a few hours of real work tells you more than a dozen interview questions. Culture is the byproduct of consistent behavior. Company culture isn't something you create with slogans or posters. It's the result of how people act every day. If leaders stay calm, teams feel safe. If teams show kindness, the workplace feels generous. Culture grows from habits, not from speeches. There was a company where meetings started on time, ended early, and stayed focused. That habit spread. People respected each other's time. They used meetings wisely. It wasn't a policy, it was just how things were done. Over time, that habit became part of the culture. New hires picked it up naturally. You don't need to declare your values loudly. Just live them quietly and consistently. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.